The dressmaker who revolutionized your morning routine. That ironing board in your closet with the narrow, curved top and padded cover, the one that makes it possible to press sleeves without wrinkling the other side, was invented by a woman who was born enslaved and taught herself to read at age 40. Her name was Sarah Boone, and this is her story. North Carolina, 1832. Sarah Marshall is born into slavery in Craven County. Her parents are enslaved. Her siblings are enslaved. Reading and writing is illegal for people who look like her. But Sarah's story doesn't end there. At just 14 or 15 years old, she marries James Boone, a freedman. Through this marriage, her freedom is purchased. Still a teenager, and she's already fighting her way to freedom. By 1856, Sarah, James, and their growing family make a dangerous journey north using the Underground Railroad network. They settle in New Haven, Connecticut, right near Yale University. Yale students are learning freely while Sarah, a brilliant woman, still can't read. James works as a bricklayer. Sarah becomes a dressmaker. They have 8 children. They build a life. Then tragedy strikes. James dies in the mid-1870s, leaving Sarah a widow with children to support. Now here's where the genius begins. Sarah's working as a dressmaker in the 1880s, and fashion at that time is ridiculous. Tight corsets, fitted bodices, sleeves that puff at the shoulder and squeeze at the wrist, curves everywhere. And women are ironing these clothes by putting a wooden plank across 2 chairs or using their kitchen table. They're trying to iron curved sleeves on flat surfaces. It doesn't work. Sarah sees this problem every single day. And unlike everyone else who just complains about it, she decides to solve it. But to get a patent, you need to write. And Sarah has never been taught to read. So this woman, this incredible woman, at over 40 years old, teaches herself to read and write, probably through her church, the Dixwell Avenue Congregational Church, which has a history of teaching community members so they can read the Bible. Born enslaved when it was illegal to teach her, and decades later she's teaching herself anyway. On July 23, 1891, Sarah Boone files her patent application, and she writes it herself. Here are her own words. My invention relates to an improvement in ironing boards, the object being to produce a cheap, simple, convenient, and highly effective device, particularly adapted to be used in ironing the sleeves and bodies of ladies' garments. Clear, direct, brilliant. Sarah's ironing board is revolutionary. It's narrow and curved, shaped to fit a sleeve. It's reversible so you can iron the inside seam, flip it, and iron the outside seam. It has a padded cover so you don't get impressions on delicate fabrics. It has a movable support that actually fits the curves of women's clothing. On April 26, 1892, Sarah Boone receives U.S. Patent 473,653. She becomes the 4th or 5th African-American woman to ever receive a U.S. patent. She's the first woman in Connecticut to receive one, and her design becomes the foundation for every ironing board you've ever used. Real quick, if you're learning something new right now, hit that follow button. We're celebrating our inventors every single episode, and you don't want to miss these stories. All right, back to Sarah. Sarah Boone doesn't just invent a product. She solves a universal problem that every household faces. Before Sarah, ironing is frustrating, time-consuming, and often damages clothes. After Sarah, it actually works. Her narrow, curved, padded design becomes the standard. The ironing board you use today is Sarah's vision. That's her genius. That's her legacy. Sarah continues working as a dressmaker in New Haven. We don't know if she ever profits from her invention. Like so many of our inventors, the financial records are lost to history. She remains active in her church community. She raises her children. She lives her life with dignity and purpose. On October 29, 1904, Sarah Boone dies at age 72. She's buried in Evergreen Cemetery in New Haven, Connecticut, in a family plot with her mother, her husband, and her daughter Henrietta. But here's where the story gets complicated. After Sarah Boone revolutionizes the ironing board in 1892, something starts happening. Other inventors start patenting ironing boards, and they don't cite her work. Just 3.5 years after Sarah's patent, Melville C. Eyre from Biddeford, Maine, patents a pressing or ironing board for pressing the body and seams of a garment. He does not cite Sarah Boone. 18 years after Sarah's breakthrough, Charles E. Call from Grand River, Ohio, patents an ironing board with a detachable sleeve board specifically for ironing sleeves. Sarah literally invented the curved board for ironing sleeves. He does not cite Sarah Boone. Mary J. Walker from Salt Lake City patents an ironing table. Does not cite Sarah Boone. Ernest Cooper from Riverside, California patents an ironing table with a detachable sleeve board attachment. Does not cite Sarah Boone. At least 2 to 4 patents filed between 4 and 19 years after Sarah's groundbreaking work fail to acknowledge her contribution. They build on her innovation. They refine her design. They make money from her idea. And they erase her name from the story. Sarah Boone's story isn't just about an ironing board. It's about a woman who was born into a system designed to keep her illiterate, powerless, and invisible. And she refused. She taught herself to read when it was illegal. She wrote her own patent when women barely had rights. She solved a problem that improved millions of lives. She became a pioneer when the world told her she couldn't. Every time you unfold that ironing board, you're using Sarah Boone's genius. Every time you press a sleeve on that curved, padded surface, you're benefiting from her innovation. Her name deserves to be remembered. Her story deserves to be told. Her legacy deserves to be celebrated. Sarah Marshall Boone. Born enslaved, 1832. Died free and brilliant, 1904. Inventor, innovator, icon. If Sarah Boone's story inspired you, smash that like button and hit follow so you don't miss the next inventor we're celebrating. Share this video so more people learn her name. Drop a comment and tell me what inventor you want to learn about next. Because we're not done. We're celebrating every forgotten genius, every erased innovator, every inventor who changed the world. Subscribe, because their stories matter.